Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So today, my kids actually presented me with a challenge of sorts. They were saying, Dad, you don't have a 360 Shadow team and 360 Light team at once, do you? And well, we decided to assemble a 5 free character and 1 gacha one in order to make the minimum 360 requirements for Antiquity Garulea. Now I realize that you only need 360 of either one or the other to get all 5 rewards, but you know, sometimes you just have to prove that the parents are right and the kids are wrong. And so we begin. They weren't sure if my meme team, they call it, could handle the challenges of Garulea at level 80. And so after doing this particular run, I will say there were definitely some challenges, and I'll just share some of my thoughts about running this particular dungeon with the team like this. So for those who are at Antiquity, you'll know that you want really a team that has a number of different elements. Earth obviously is one type, especially against Ship Graveyard and some of the enemies who are weak to Earth, such as here. You'll also need Garulea, obviously, OG preferably with Manifest to clear mobs with his AoE explosion. And finally, you prefer at least one wind type if possible, because in Kurochi Cove, there are some enemies that are weak to wind, notably the Shell, I believe. In terms of enemies weak to weapon types, it's best to have obviously a Pierce, a Blunt, and of course some Slash. And so we have lots of Slash. Even in back here, we do have the Aldo and Azami. Now, normally, even with my normal Antiquity team, they're in the back mostly as light batteries. In terms of Shadow, obviously I don't focus on Shadow when I'm going to Antiquity. I usually bring an all-light team, being that most characters in the game, especially in gacha, are more likely to be light than Shadow. That being said, since we've been grinding Antiquity Garulea since essentially when it first came out, and I can't remember how many months ago that was, feel free to leave some comments below, if you wanted to nitpick on that particular fact. We have Garulea at the 190 something mark, and so I mean that is honestly pretty good. And so one of the things I wanted to actually share while doing this particular video, first of all, we don't have any AoEs. Earth AoEs would do very nicely here. Usually I would use Tsubami or AS Myris or OG Myris at this point. Since we don't have this, we're going to rely on Calamity, Explosion. Unfortunately, AS Nagi is a single target DPS Earth, and although she will do very well against the big Gonjoro, well, somewhat well, I guess, Rika is unsuited to really battle against bosses. She can be used, and if you watch some of the Japanese or Taiwanese videos, they definitely use Rika as an all-free characters kind of strategy. I think Rika was used in one fight against the twins, for example. They're used as a healer against some of the true 4 spirits in the Tales of. I mean, the list goes on and on. So even as a free healer, once you get Rika to 5-star, really not too terrible. I mean, however, if you are pulling on gacha, you probably will have some better healers. My go-to usually is, honestly, at this point, Myris OG with Manifest is my preferred all-out healer. She does a little bit DPS, a lot of shielding. She has a physical shield, power down, physical resist down, some AoEs, great. But of course, AS Myris is close second, being her DPS is through the roof as an Earth magic user, and she still has power heal that can easily heal 16 to 1800 and possibly more when she boosts her own int 3 times. Otherwise, we're going to take the big Gonjoro on. The other boss, I mean, there's 2 other bosses, and don't forget that the Dogu is weak to Blunt as well as Wind, and we'd be a little bit unsuited for that one. It'll be a little bit more challenging not to get wrecked by him. And in terms of the Sacred Beast, first couple of turns, I believe, is Wind Zone. Second couple of turns, it's Fire Zone. So if we can't beat him in the first couple of turns, we will have Fire Zone boosting our power. So our fire team, and you can bring, obviously, Aldo and Azami up to the front. It will wreck it, and I think there's actually some Slash weaknesses as well. Now, in terms of this particular one, although we have 2 Earth DPS, the problem is most of these characters only hit for 1 hit, and so being that we're not in zone, our combo meter is very small. And so for those who aren't familiar with the combo meter and how it works, for each percentage it goes up, your damage or each hit will be multiplied by that particular multiplier. So as you get further and further along, and some of the best combo meters can reach 400, 500, even thousands if you have the right unit, Victor, then you can really, even your weakest character can hit for mega. So the goal of an AF is to maintain it either within zone, where the zone helps you maintain the elemental hits. Each hit does a fixed bar raise, or if you have multi-hits on a non-zone team, then 3 hits would be optimal. 4 hits are obviously more rare. In this case, everyone's 1 or 2, and so the combo meter only made it to the low 100s. And so normally a strangle from AS Nagi, especially you've seen some other boss fights, in conjunction with Waiupa's Earth Zone plus guarantee crit, does like millions. And in this case, it only did a few 100,000, so it's a little bit caught off guard in that sense. So, just something to think about. And look at that! 2 treatises for my trouble of running a meme team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.